So for many years, our school district and the community have not been partners. In fact, many times they have been at odds, and many times uh, it has been said that we don't care. We'll just do whatever we want to do because all we have to do is answer to the state. We don't care. We, but we do. We definitely do care.
My biggest hope is to make families feel like this is their school just as much as it is their child's school. We're a small community, and in small communities, you have to be able to work together to make things go from good to great. And if we want great things, then we have to be able to hear each other, and we also have to be able to communicate those important things. We have to have hard conversations because a lot of this work was sitting back from as a staff and listening to parents' frustrations, but also hearing how proud they are of our school. And instead of saying, well, we do that, it was more of, why do they still feel that they're not getting communicated with?
I really think this is the first time that the parental voice has been allowed to be heard. And so we've been operating with just the schools know best. So that's important that we learn to value each other, when it concerns our children.
I think it has really developed a strong team with our staff. Their passion has surprised me, and it has also given them more insight of where our families are. And I think that's huge in building stronger connections with our families. So by doing that, by empowering our staff to hear those conversations and make those plans, I think it has provided a different path of how we engage with our families.
So one element of our chats that I think is very important is that we have an elder from the community that comes and gives a little bit of pep talk, a little bit of inspirational words to families about their importance, about working together, and they lend an element of calm and wisdom to our chats that I think really help to bridge the differences between the school and the community or the family.
That's what I question constantly is, what am I modeling? What am I trying to teach my grandchildren? And so I think the bottom line is, in Lakota culture, we call it being a good relative. So do we do that in the school systems too? How do we treat each other well? And I understand we have to have so many rules and we have to make test scores, but I think if we do it with a sense of empathy and compassion, I think we can reach those children far better and encourage them to do well. That we value them as people. They're, they have worth, that they are loved by people that surround them. And I think when we nurture that, I think that our children could do well. Because oftentimes, if you walk through the communities, it's a struggle. And I don't know if today our present administrators have ever walked through our communities.
Out of this is it really made me look at parent engagement in a different light. I think we do a pretty good job of family fun nights and back to school nights and all that stuff. And I think a lot of educators think that's enough. And by having the family chats and really listening to our families, it gave us different information.
First of all, the families can understand that their voice matters, their opinions, that they do have some type of input into their children's education. And I think for the children, the students, they need to understand that the families and the schools are working together. It's not a us and them thing, so I guess I look at it as to how do we bring the parents to that table? I really believe there's still a good majority of parents out there that don't realize that they have a voice. And how do we get to them to where, they'll know that their thoughts or anything concerning their children, the school values, and that we can make some changes based on what parents think is important too. So I hope that, because, it's always been one-sided. The schools have always had the upper hand just because this form of education, it's a Western form. And we've always had to comply with that. And now that we're at a place where I think a lot of our community members are being educated, and they know that, they've already found their voices, we're kind of starting to make a difference where we can say, well, I think this is a better way to do it, and the schools, the administrators can see the validity in that and, act on it. So it becomes more of a partnership